Hey everybody, welcome to Marvel Champions Monthly. We are a fan podcast about the card game Marvel Champions by Fantasy Flight Games. I am one of your hosts, Kennedy Hawk. I've got two co-hosts with me today. We've got Amerikano. How's it going?
Good, I'm feeling pretty heroic.
You're feeling very heroic. Well, that's good and timely for today. And we have Crimson. How's it going?
It's going pretty good.
It's going swell here too. So today's topic for our episode is going to be all about hero challenges. So I'll give a really brief description of what that is, and then we can just dive right into the topic after we do our MCM challenge. So, a lot of challenges. The word challenge happens a lot. Don't worry, we're not going to make you play heroic mode too much. But in 2019, if you can believe it, FFG put out some hero challenges for the core set heroes. And it was 3 little cute named challenges per core set hero that you could try to complete this achievement in single player and multiplayer. And they were amazing. People loved doing them. Sadly, since then, no new challenges have come out from FFG. But we did one in the summer of 2020 where we put out a couple challenges for every hero up through Doctor Strange. Sadly, we haven't revisited that until now, so what we're going to do is today we've come up with a challenge for each hero. So we'll review one challenge from each of the heroes up through Doctor Strange, and then we'll be adding one challenge to each hero after him. So Hulk all the way through Vision. We'll read through those challenges, maybe give some tips on how to complete them, and talk about which ones we think are challenging and which ones we think are maybe too easy. We had some too easy ones last time too. So get ready to be challenged is the answer.
Yes.
On that topic, the MCM matchup this week, what we're going to do is we're going to say, go play one of these hero challenges. Let us know which hero challenge it was, and if it was enjoyable, or how many tries it took, or any funny stories that happened along the way. So you'll get to pick any hero you want, try to complete their challenge, and tell us how it went. It'll be super fun. I'm ready. Is everybody ready?
Oh, yeah.
Ready.
All right. Let's start with the old superhero challenges. So why don't we just rotate through the list? We'll go Amerikano, Crimson, me, and we can read through each challenge in our shared document, and we'll start with the ones we had last time.
Okay, so Iron Man.
That's all
high
you.
Flying. All right, so Iron Man high flying. Win a game where you gain the aerial trait every round. And I think the key to this one, for you to even get it done, is you have to have the boots out immediately, the first round, and make it a priority. And it's very possible to not be able to do this if you don't draw into the right cards. But
we're gonna take some mulliganing. Yeah,
it's gonna take some. You're gonna have to mulligan hard for it, and then you're probably playing not optimally, right? If you're gonna go aerial, you got to get the one rocket boot down, and then you have to flip to hero form and still have a mental resource to
yeah, it's
trigger
gonna be
it.
tough. We had people do it last time, so I think they can do it probably easier in multiplayer than solo because other people can like back you up.
Black Panther is the next one. Wakanda efficiency, win a game and thin your deck down to 15 cards. This one's actually not terribly hard.
No, this one's just playing smart, right?
Yep, and just
playing to Black Panther's strengths.
Yep, just toy with the opponent as much as possible.
Yes.
Get that time down.
Like a cat / panther.
Yeah.
Toy with your rhino. All right. Next up from our old challenges is She-Hulk, Amazing Assistant. Play Hellcat 3 times in a single turn. Just need a lot of money.
I mean, yeah, it's just get a bunch of resources, which is a lot easier now than it was back then.
Yeah, I think last time this one was actually really hard. You had to use like
split personality.
Oh, I was thinking, what's the leadership card? Quinjet that came with Captain America.
Oh yeah.
And you had to like get 3 Quinjets out with enough resources that you could keep playing Hellcat. It was really silly.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different ways to do it now, I think.
Yep. Yeah, this one's not too hard now.
So the next one's Spider-Man. Does whatever a spider can. Perform a swinging web kick on a webbed up villain. So this one really requires you to have the resources because webbed up is a 4-cost card, and then Swinging Web Kick is a 3-cost card. So
So
it's
you're looking at
definitely
9 cards.
doable, and again easier now with different options. But you're gonna need like both of your web shooters out, and you're gonna need
Is webbed up
helicarrier.
a superpower?
I don't know.
No. Oh, is it?
If either one of those are a superpower, that makes that easier too.
The
Yeah.
web kick is, but
What?
All right.
Okay.
There you go. You can get that down to 1 then.
Aerial superpower and attack, right? So, yeah, I mean, it's like the She-Hulk one. It's easier to do now, but it's definitely. I feel like it might be actually easier than the She-Hulk one.
one thing I forgot to mention is a lot of these start with win a game where you blank. All of these really mean that like implicitly. So if you play
Yeah.
Hellcat 3 times turn 1 and then die, that doesn't count. You got to play Hellcat 3 times and win the game. So
Right.
don't go too far. I think the key to the Spider-Man one is you web up and then you flip down, because then the villain doesn't swing and doesn't like remove the webbed up. But you have to draw into swinging web kick or hold 1
Hold on to
and
it.
then
Yeah.
flip back up next turn. That could be the key.
Just stay as alter ego, so as long as you can until you get it.
Yeah, a lot of counterintelligence.
Captain Marvel, in pursuit of flight, to remove 8 threat with crisis interdiction in a single turn. I mean, it's doable. Scary letting things get to 8 threat, though.
It's not efficient though.
No, it
Not
isn't.
with that card.
But doable.
It's only 2 copies. That's not too bad.
Yeah.
I think these older ones are a little bit easier than some of our newer ones, but we'll see. So we're finally into our expansion heroes. So we had Captain America, Man Out of Time, and it was use Captain America's basic attack and thwart twice each in the same round. So you're going to have to get 2 extra readies on top of I can do this all day to truly be able to do this all day and double attack and double thwart. Easy peasy for Cap.
Easy. He can do any of these. No. So Miss Marvel's was stretchy. Play the same event 4 times in 1 turn. So I'm trying to even think how this is possible. Now, if you have Clobber or what's the other one?
Impede.
Impede,
Or
yeah.
Impede.
That makes it easier, but I'm trying to even think of how you get them back that many times. I guess if you
She can bounce 1, right? So you
can bounce
could
It bounces itself once.
you could clobber and then you could play it again and have her bounce it back and play it a 3rd time. You've got to find one more way to get it back into your hand, either from like
The
cycling your
graveyard.
deck and drawing it, or readying Miss Marvel in between playing them, or something
There you
like
go.
that.
Yeah, just ready her. That's the easiest way.
All right, Thor, that's all you, Crimson.
Already back to me. Jeez, these are going quick. Thor Ragnarok. Fail to kill Loki 3 times in the same game and win the game. I mean,
so this one's the hardest of these, and the reason I think it is because you have to draw into Shadow of the Past to get Loki out there. So you're entirely dependent upon the RNG in that sense.
Or you can play against Kang, right? Doesn't he bring out your
in
nemesis
the 4th
part 3
step or
something?
part 3, yeah. Because that's true.
But then the problem runs into you have to play Kang.
I like Kang.
I hate Kang.
I think this one's the hardest because inevitably, when I want to kill Loki, he never goes away. But the one time I get him out here and try this Thor Ragnarok challenge, he's going to get 1 shot, and I'm going to be like, oh, I have to cycle the entire stupid deck again. But yeah, this one could be rough. I would say this is just the normal strategy of playing Thor, is you keep trying to kill Loki and failing, but I think it'll work out not in Loki's favor this one time. All right, next is Black Widow, Name of the Rose. Use a single copy of Dance of Death to defeat 2 minions and the villain, all in one go. So.
This is doable. You just got to set it up.
Got to set it up and have him not kill you in the meantime, right? That's all Marvel Champions is. So.
Yeah, and the trick, I mean, if it's the first stage of the villain, you can still hit him with the 3, because it goes 3, 2, 1. Is that right?
Yep.
Dance of
Yep.
Death? Instead of like, you can hit them first, the villain, instead of
Yes.
waiting to hit them last.
Because defeating a stage of a villain counts as defeating a villain.
Right.
For card effects and our special MCM Hero Challenge checklist, obviously.
And just play
Check
against
the
Ultron.
RRG.
Play against Ultron.
You know.
All right, the next one is Doctor Strange. Magic has a price. Win a game without cycling your invocation deck. I've never done this. I've never attempted to do this.
Nope.
But I mean, this might be the one I try. Because
I did this one last time, and
You
it's harder. Yeah.
you have to definitely think about what you're putting in your deck, and obviously you're not playing to his strength. But maybe just using that as like a get out of jail card. Whatever one's on top. Does that make sense?
Yep. You really had to decide, like, is it worth playing this right now, or can I play something in my hand that bides time instead?
You're using
And
his spells a lot more, probably.
Yeah, what is it? The magic of the mystic arts, where you get to use something twice.
Oh yeah,
But
'cause
yeah,
it doesn't.
it's rough. You can't even play
discard
the
it.
5th one because then you've cycled it. So you get 4 invocations, and hopefully, whichever the one is that flips a status condition is on the bottom, because that's the one you don't want to play. So
Pretty
those are
much.
our old ones. Can you believe it was that long ago when we did this?
It's a long time ago.
It's insanity. It was like the week before Hulk came out. So now we have this wonderful hero Hulk, and we have all sorts of new challenges for people to try. So we'll go over these challenges, and we'll dwell a little bit longer on all of these, and maybe talk about some strategy for them, or how difficult they're going to be, or cry that we even wrote them up. So we can keep going in the same order, and we'll let Crimson issue the Hulk challenge.
Yeah, Hulk, Gamma Guns. Win by playing 2 Hulk smashes on 1 attack. This is doable.
It's certainly doable if you mulligan enough.
Yeah.
What, Hulk Smash costs 3, and it's a interrupt to a basic attack, so you'd have to get both in hand and 6 resources to play it, so you need like your limitless strengths and your Hulk Smashes. But you also can't hold cards in your hand from turn to turn.
Right. That would be like the stars aligning. 2 Hulk smashes and 2 limitless strengths, because you could do it then.
Yeah, you could try to thin your deck, but he's got so many events, you're still going to have trouble.
Yeah, you're going to have to get those setup
like
cards.
I do, where you are all about the resource stuff. So you're playing resourcefuls. You're playing anything that you can put onto the table that generates resources.
In preparation for that, martial prowess would let you do it. I think, isn't it attack trait?
Yeah. No, it's not an attack traded card. Isn't that silly? Hulk Smash is not an attack. It's an interrupt to an attack, but
I guess that makes
Quinn
sense.
Carrier and stuff like that would work. Helicarrier. Yep. Have you ever done 2 Hulk Smashes on the same attack?
I think I have, yeah.
I don't
know if I've ever successfully done a single Hulk Smash on an attack. Not in the last year, at least. Not since Drax came out.
I play a lot of Hulk.
Well, that's different.
I mean, Drax is okay, but it's Hulk, man. Hulk is awesome.
It is Hulk. It's true. He has gamma guns. All right, next is Hawkeye, Life as a Weapon. Here's your goal, and it is going to be a long game. You want to get 10 arrows into your quiver, and then win a game by firing one of those 10 arrows into the villain's face.
So technically you need 11?
Well, you get 10 in your quiver, and then you go down to 9 when you shoot the last arrow, because there are only 10 arrows. Not that I have this kit memorized or anything, but you're going to need to get quiver down, and then you're going to have to last 10 turns, which is hard to do as Hawkeye.
The last time we played, the quiver was the last card of my deck.
Yeah, well, play better. I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
If you want to hack, you can play this 2-player, and you can make the call someone's Shuri, and she lets you search your deck for an upgrade and put it into your hand. But Shuri's also a one-of, so you're searching for 2 one-of cards between 2 decks, which is still pretty hard.
It would require me to play leadership Hawkeye.
What's wrong with that? The other thing for all these ones
You're
that are
pushing it
searching
one
for
or
like
the
a
other.
certain card is assess the situation is really good, right? Because it just like artificially thins your deck on the first deck pass and like helps you push through things. So
I honestly, the worst thing about this is just playing Hawkeye.
Whoa.
you
I've-
Hulk fans, I'm done with this.
I've come around on Hawkeye. Okay.
Yeah, Hawkeye's not
he
bad.
he can smash face. He really can't well with his arrows. So I guess in this situation, I don't know what he's doing. He's just
He's not using his arrow.
he's not using
That's
his
what
arrows.
he's doing.
Just using
You're
your base attack over and over again.
Yeah.
You can use them because you only can put one into your quiver a turn, right? And if they're in your hand, you got to get them out of your hand so you can get them into your quiver.
Remind me when you play, you can just place one. You don't have to pay the cost, right? If it's in your hand, then when you play it from your quiver, that's when you pay the cost. Is that right? You can play it from your hand, or you can put it in your quiver for free.
No.
No? Okay.
You can play it from your hand, which is fine. It costs an exhaustion of the bow and the resources. Or you can also play it from your quiver the same way. And the quiver is exhaust your quiver, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, and
Oh, that's
stash an
right.
arrow in me, and then shuffle the cards back into your deck.
I remember this now because I don't think you should have to shuffle those 5 cards.
We don't talk about that rule. It's not real. Moving on. Spider Woman, the other hero in that box we don't care about.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Spider Woman.
Jeez.
Pheromone immunity. Defeat a stunned and confused villain while tough. So
It's not too hard, actually.
it's all about the status conditions, and I think
Yeah.
she's a very good. I mean, pheromones, right? That's the card that gives
Stunned and confused.
something and confused, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then does she have a built-in tough?
Yeah, I think
Contaminant
her,
immunity has a built-in tough.
Oh,
She
that's
does.
right. She has to.
A protection card. Come on, green player.
yeah, no, she's not. I mean,
You'll just have
again,
to time
a
it,
lot of
because the villain
time.
needs to be stunned and confused when you go for
Yeah.
the kill. And you need to be tough. So you've got to get tough, stun and confuse them, and deal the damage, or like somehow do that shenanigans.
So bonus challenge: do this against Thanos.
Yeah, that'll go well.
Don't do it.
Do
Don't try
it against the hood on steady. Yeah.
Ugh.
All right.
When's the hood
Ant-Man.
episode? What day do I need to call out sick? Okay, Ant-Man. Ant-Man's me, right?
That's you, yeah.
No, one size fits all. Win a game using only one hero form. Yeah, I could do this, yeah. Like, I'm not a big Ant-Man or Wasp player. Like, I just don't play them very often. But yeah, like, switch over to Smash form and smash.
I feel like this actually hurts Ant-Man a lot, because all his forms are like, do something when you change into me. So if you go to Smash form, you're having a smaller hero hand size the whole game. You don't get that threat control from Tiny form. But if you go to Tiny form, you get the threat control, but you're counting on like all this ping damage from your army of ants. So what I would do is I would play like Ant-Man Justice in giant form, or Ant-Man Aggression in tiny form, so you bring like the opposite of what your hero form gives you.
Yeah, play him like Hulk.
Yeah,
because Justice is the only aspect you play Hulk in. That's right.
That's the only aspect you play.
You're right. You are right.
All right. Now Wasp, right? Is that you?
Yeah, Wasp. So hers is ping damage, and it focuses on her tiny form because a lot of people don't do that. So it is win a game where the villain is only damaged by small but mighty. So that's her ping damage when she defeats a minion or side scheme.
Ooh,
it's gonna be a long game.
Rough.
So I feel like it. I mean, it's rough because you have to only use small but mighty, but also you're playing into. I think Wasp definitely more than Ant-Man wants to be able to focus on one of the sizes in your deck build. So if you do that, I mean, it's still you're still building towards what you kind of want to do anyway with Wasp versus that Ant-Man one where you want to switch hero form every time if possible, right?
Yep.
I don't think Wasp necessarily wants to do that.
And you can do some shenanigans, right? If you're gonna be trying to do this by killing minions, you can bring looking for trouble and aggression. And if you're gonna do this with side schemes, you can bring one way or another. Ultimately, you like want more encounter cards, but it also plays into like the stablest way to play Marvel Champions, where you just try to stabilize the board every turn and ignore the villain until like nothing else exists. You'll have to ignore them past that, but like you just keep bringing up threats and removing them, and you should stay pretty stable.
Yeah, that's generally the way I play champions. Is I stabilize board.
STB.
So it's why my games are so long, even in single player, and why I don't play multiplayer. Because
I love playing 4-player games of Champions that take 7 hours.
Nope,
They're my favorite.
No, I'm good.
All right, Quicksilver. His challenge is buff or brains or barricade. Win a game when Quicksilver has a basic stat of 7. So obviously, this leads into his strength anyway. But you're leaning into it more. So if you're gonna go protection, you want to get his accelerated reflex out, and then you want to get the body armor out, or whatever it's called. And then, what are some other ways to get your defense stats?
Well, he's got maximum velocity that gives him +2/+2/+2, but it's
You got
max
Moxie.
1 per round, right? Yeah, you got Moxie, you got
Moxie.
morale boost.
Yeah.
This is generally how I play Quicksilver. Anyways, is I'm all about his pumping his stats. So this one just I think I've done this challenge multiple times.
And this is the one. This is.
Should I delete it and make it an 8 just so Crimson has struggles a little bit? Or figure out whatever's mathematically not possible and put it there?
This you have to time it though, because you have to have all those cards and then end the game with that stat.
Yeah,
with a high enough stat. So you can do it in the middle of the game, but if you somehow end up rushing or not end up defeating the villain, you're gonna have to go back through and get those cards again, those events, to buff your stats up enough.
I haven't done all of these, but I did try this one to make sure it was doable before I put it on the list. So I don't want to give everybody all the solutions, but there's some cards that come in Quicksilver's pack that are going to help you with this, I think. So
yeah.
All right. Scarlet Witch is Crimson.
Scarlet Witch Insanity. Win a game with 4 per player acceleration tokens on the main scheme. Ugh, that sounds terrible.
That sounds like a dream for a Justice player. You need work to do.
No, that's too
We'll
much
do it in
work.
4-player. 16 threat per turn. Sounds great.
What's
Too much work.
what's the most you've had on the main scheme?
In 4-player. Oh, who are you asking? That's a good question.
Both of you.
I'll let Crimson go first.
I think I've had 2 in single player games, 2 max, and that's not including like any side schemes that came out that put a token on there. Just 2 natural.
Right.
In 4-player against, I think it was Hela, we ended up getting 9 acceleration tokens.
This one time in a 4-player game? No.
And it was because Thor was playing Justice, and he was using Defender of the Nine Realms and One Way or Another to keep bringing out threats and drawing a bunch of cards. But he was just like, by when I say Thor, I mean me. Like, I can't tell you how many times in that game I would play One Way or Another, and I would start discarding cards, and it would be like the last, or I guess One Way or Another is search for, but what is it? The one that discards.
And you're playing against Claw? No.
Yeah, I'd be like discarding, and like there'd be like 1 minion left in the deck, and it's the last card every time. So my team was not super happy.
So this, I mean, obviously is going to be easier if you play against Claw and you don't use status effect like stuns and confused, right? And you're using a lot of hex bolts.
Yep.
But there's other things you can do besides just playing against Claw to get to that. But yeah, admittedly, Scarlet Witch is not a hero that I've played very much of. So
Scarlet Witch and Starlord, they can do this no problem.
Fuck.
All right. Next is Rocket. Painful Pleasure. You want to heal 2 full health from 1 hit point using Schadenfreude, and then win the game. So Schadenfreude is an event that's like every time Rocket deals damage, heal him 2. So you're going to have to do a lot of damage. You could probably do that with one of his like AoE shots if there were a ton of minions out there. But it's a pretty fun game turning moment. So
Or have some readies in there. Maybe
yeah, have some sneaky readies in. That would work too.
help push you over the edge. Rocket's basic attack is 2, right?
I think so.
Okay. All right. Groot. I am Groot. Trigger lashing vines, vine shield, vine spikes, and entangling vines in the same round. I don't even know what those cards cost. So
Oh,
let
you
me
were going
look.
to say that, so I specifically didn't write what they were in the list. I'm so glad.
let me
So,
let me
so
look this
yeah,
up first, really quick, because oh man,
Yeah, I
those are the
mean,
upgrades that boost his stats for growth counters. So you'll have to perform an attack and boost his attack stat. Ready, perform a thwart and boost his thwart stat. And then defend and boost his defense stat. And the fourth one readies him, I believe. So if you get all 4 out, it's really easy to do. But you got to get all 4 Vine upgrades out, which usually those are resources for me beyond like the one that I'm using. So
oh yeah,
yeah,
they're all one
first
cost
of all, you have to play
upgrades.
Groot. So it's
that's
gonna
the
be
hardest part right there.
They're all one cost upgrades, and they're all superpowers. So they should be. I mean, if you want to focus on this, it should be pretty easy to get them out, right?
Yep, it's just getting them triggered.
Oof.
Come on. Starlord, part of the plan. Went on heroic 1+ mode. Yeah.
I mean, easy peasy, right?
Sure.
He's already prepared for extra encounter cards. What's one more?
It just buffs him up, so it's either going to be you're going to lose faster or win faster. I think.
It
Right?
actually doesn't, right? Isn't that annoying? Because
It doesn't.
No, because they go away.
they go away before it's his turn, so he gets an extra one. It technically buffs like his little boots in like an edge case, right? If the first card you reveal is an assault, his boots like reduce damage for each encounter card in front of you. But all of his other stuff is hero
Other
actions,
different
like
fun.
during the hero
Yeah.
phase, and all the cards will be gone.
Yep.
So it's
Oh,
a real
that's
nut punch for Starlord.
so you'll just see all the encounter cards
All the encounter cards.
and get very very little payoff.
If you really want a challenge,
You might play
do an
Starlord with
insanity part of the plan run
yeah.
with Scarlet Witch and Starlord and see what
Yeah,
happens.
just play Starlord and Scarlet Witch at the same time. There you go. Done.
All right, Gamora is deadliest. Win a game without including non-Gamora attack thwart events. So you're going to depend just on her attacking and thwarting to trigger all of her special pings and pluckbacks. So basically, play leadership.
It's doable, but it doesn't sound fun.
So you don't get your deck building.
Yeah.
You don't get to trigger the deck building thing, right? Her.
Nope. No fun for you.
Yeah. I mean,
No,
doable.
no
It's
fun
like
for
playing
you.
Hulk. You're right.
Doesn't sound
Green
fun.
characters. She-Hulk, Hulk, Gamora. I see a trend.
I like my Orions.
And then his Drax, he does thinks it's okay.
Yeah. I mean, Drax is good, but
All right.
I just don't
So
know
here's
about Drax.
so here's Drax's vengeance. Defeat a villain using only payback. So payback's his one cost. I think it's one or 0 cost. He's got 2 of them that deals a 0 cost event that deals after the villain attacks you. You deal X damage, where X is equal to your ATK. So, that's going to be a long game.
Okay, so Venom is going to be slow drip. Win a game without healing or recovering. This one's very possible, but it's going to be just playing differently, like being much more cautious on what you do, making sure you have allies out to block.
Yeah.
I really like this one, like Doctor Strange's, because I think it's going to make you really decide, and like as a player, you're going to have to weigh the usefulness of your ability versus your loss condition. Just like running out of your invocation deck is now a lost condition because you lose your challenge. And here, if you have to heal to stay in the game, all of a sudden the challenge is not completed. So it'll be cool.
Yeah, and I feel like I mean, he has those built-in events that have the kickers that trigger off of specific resource types, and I mean, obviously, taking that damage to get a wild will trigger that, right? But you can go even further in your deck building and add those kicker cards from the aspects. But here you might not want to because you might not want to have to agonize over those choices and just try. It might expand if you're used to those cards. It might just expand your deck building experience and use different cards to see what works with Venom. You know.
Now you can include like endurance as like a fake heal, right? You
Right.
gain 3 hit
Energy
points, not
shields.
recovering or healing.
Energy shield doesn't heal; it just stops 1 damage. There's lots of things in protection that would help. Non-healing.
Yeah, just damage mitigation. I think this is going to be a protection play, right?
Yeah.
Protection or leadership and chump, and hope there's no overkill.
Protection's also nice because you get multiple man, so that's a lot of chumps there too.
Yeah. All
Yes,
right,
you do.
moving on. We're getting close to the end here. Adam Warlock's is called So Basic, and it's win a game with only 2 cards from each aspect in your deck. So when you build Adam Warlock, you've got to include equal amounts of each aspect. So you're going to get 2 aggression, 2 leadership, 2 protection, and 2 justice cards, and everything else is boring basics.
Boring.
Boring. That one's going to be hard. It's going to be tough because his battle mage ability and a lot of his cards discard from your deck looking for
Aspects.
or getting bonuses from these aspects. So you're going to like preciously have to hold on to those aspect cards and decide if they're worth it or not. Or you can go the route of like including every basic upgrade that exists and just like burning them all out of your deck on the first deck pass.
Yeah.
All right. Is it me? Nebula?
I think it's you.
Nebula triggered. So trigger 6 techniques in 1 round with Nebula. I have no idea. I'm assuming this is
Neither do
possible.
I've never done it.
I don't think
I
it's
don't
going to
even.
be too bad. You're going to have to be able to survive in alter ego form and build up to the 6, right? Or what is the one card she has?
Because hers triggers at the beginning of her turn, right?
Yeah, well, it's at the beginning of her. Let me read right here. After your turn begins, resolve the special ability on each technique upgrade you control, then discard each technique upgrade resolved this way.
Okay.
So you're gonna have to get to. Yeah, go.
So you will trigger them. That's how you trigger them. Is just after your turn begins. So you will just have to get 6 out there and basically stay in alter ego form for a while to get 6 out.
Yep, gonna be hard in solo.
Or, and this is what we mean by triggering. There's that card Lethal Intent that is choose up to X technique upgrades you control, resolve each of their special abilities in an order of your choice.
Yeah, so if you had like 2 at the beginning, and then they went away, and then you played 4 of them, and then did that. Yeah, that would work too.
I was thinking if you had 3 and you were in multiplayer and you're player 2, you could take that hero action on someone else's turn, and then on your turn, your 3 things would resolve, and then you'd get 6 in 1 round.
Because it is 1 round. It's not 1 turn.
Yeah.
1 round.
I haven't tried. Well, I have done this. I did this stupid deck where like you just use allies to keep thwarting, and you get all of the techniques down. And then you flip and trigger all of them and see if it can end the game. Usually it doesn't because they're not that exciting. It does a lot of work, but it's definitely possible. It's possible.
Does it do enough work for you sitting in alter ego form for that long?
No.
If you have a justice player to do the back work for you.
Okay.
Won't be me.
All right.
It'll just be a 4-hour game. It's okay.
War Machine. I am War Machine. Win a game with 6 tech upgrades in play. Is that really that hard with War Machine?
Well, here's the thing. He only has 5 in his. He only has 5 in his deck, in his hero kit. There's some basic ones. I mean, it's only going to work. It's going to be easier with some aspects, right? So protection. has the
armor and stuff like that. Yeah.
I don't even know if Justice has any tech upgrades. I guess the
Sonic Rifle.
sonic rifle is. Leadership doesn't. Not that you can. I guess you can because you can attach them to allies. I think there's
Yeah,
some
Reinforced
upgrades.
Suit is one, I think, and some other ones.
Let's see. Does aggression? Probably.
Hand cannons.
Hand cannon is okay. So it's
This might be
possible.
the one I try. Yeah.
You're gonna have to include some aspect tech upgrades.
You're all missing the joke in this one. What it's supposed to be is you play with your Iron Man friend, and they finally get to their 6 tech upgrades, so they can flip and have a 7-card hand size, and you can be like, "No, I am War Machine. I can do that too."
Because it's I period M period. I get
I'm
it.
glad that you figured it out after I explained it.
After you
I
explained it,
said it that
It
way.
was really clever when I was writing that, but I apparently was
that's
not.
why. Yeah, that's why I said it that way. I am
Okay.
War Machine. You know,
I feel better.
I am
Got it.
Iron
No,
Man.
you have to explain all your jokes to me.
Damn.
It's not Kennedy Hawk's fault. It's my fault.
I'm out.
I'm just slow.
It happens. It's okay. It's doable.
Yeah, it actually seems fun. I might do that one.
Valkyrie, Slayer. This one is going to be hard. Valkyrie, right? So defeat 3 unique minions with Deathglow attached to them, and then defeat the villain with Deathglow attached to the villain.
Okay.
Play Helga, right? Or
That's
Hela,
exactly what I was thinking in my brain when I wrote this.
Yeah.
But it could also be like Madam Hydra and other people. MODOK.
No. Don't do MODOK.
You could play against that Wrecking Crew mod. That would go well.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, this one is going to require you to get the villain to within striking distance and have minions out.
Well, you don't have to do this all in one turn. It's like throughout the process of a game, right?
Yeah.
Um,
That's why I said
okay.
Hela would be the easiest.
I think Hela would be reasonable. You're going to have to like move Deathglow, which is going to be the hard thing, right? Which I guess you can do that when they're defeated, right? You can just use your hero action and spend 1 resource to move Deathglow. You don't have to flip down to do that or anything, so that shouldn't be too bad. You just have to last a long game where you see 3 unique minions, get Deathglow on all of them and kill them, and then kill the villain.
Yep.
And we've got Vision, our protection expert, can take us away.
Vision intangibles. Defeat a villain without defeating any minions or side schemes. Yeah, I can tell you right now, this is not one that I'm going to be trying.
I heard a rumor that you don't like Vision. What is this all about?
Crimson and I are the only 2 people on the planet that don't like Vision, evidently.
Nope.
I like a very specific Vision deck, and it's the one where you sit in intangible form, I think. The one where you can't defend, but you reduce damage that comes at you. That's intangible, right?
Yes.
And you play aggression, and you just keep playing looking for trouble and bringing out more minions. And then you play Bring It, and you draw like 20 cards because you have like 20 minions in front of you, and they're all hitting you for 2 or less, so they're hitting you for nothing.
Some minions.
I saw someone call it Vision Pokemaster because you're trying to get like 6 minions in front of you, and then you play Bring It and draw 6 cards every round, and it's just ridiculous. It looks fun. So
and then evidently you can play the solar beam and or all that stuff, right? You have the
then you just flip up and play solar beam, or you can play what's the aggression card? Dive Bomb, where it's like deal 7 to something and then 1 to everything else. So you just play that a bunch of times. And
well, you better be able to defeat them because if you flip up, then they're going to attack you, and you're going to take a lot of damage.
That's a lot of damage.
I guess flip up. I mean flip to dense form, right? Dense.
Play against Ultron.
Yeah, play it against Ultron. Get all those little weenies out there. It'll be perfect.
And then the cards that you need are going to be in
underneath
as the drone, as the drones.
Oh, well, this was fun. I'm excited to see the matchup results from this week and see which hero challenges people take on. We'll revisit hero challenges every year now and try to put out challenges for all the new heroes each year. And we might even put some like villain challenges out too. I think
that'd be fun.
There's a villainous podcast that might team up with us and do something like that if we can con them into it. But yeah,
Yeah.
so these are the hero challenges. They are on the MCM website, but you can also find them. We'll post them on social media and stuff, and a link in the show notes below. So definitely, if you're itching for something new, we know Sinister Motives comes out in 1 to 72 weeks, depending on where you live. But if you're in one of those places that has to wait 72 more weeks, then maybe this is something to buy the time while you're waiting for Sinister Motives.
So tonight, what's everyone going to go play? Are you guys going to do this challenge? Or are you going to play something else?
Oh, I'm playing something else.
Well, we have to do our side scheme draft match after this. Who am I playing?
Oh.
Spider Woman? We could do Pheromone Immunity. Defeat a stun and confused villain while tough.
I'm not going to be doing this challenge.
Yo, you're not
During-
playing the Drax challenge. No, thank you.
So I've been putting a little bit more effort in my YouTube, my personal one. I've been playing a lot of Sorcery. Sorcery is incredibly fun. It's a TCG that's coming out through Kickstarter. Kind of, we've talked about on this podcast, our love of like old '90s card games, and this has that feel. So, if you're inclined, just look me up on YouTube at Crimson MCM, and you should see some more some videos on that. It's really fun. I've been having a blast.
We'll put a link to that in the show notes too. And I think we might arrange a game where you teach me how to play this with me knowing nothing about it. So people
Yeah.
can stumble through it and see all the play mistakes I make, and it'll be really funny.
Dude, and it's got a lot of things from other card games. The grid base kind of feels like anachronism, and it's got a very old school Magic feel, like 93, 94.
What does it
feel
have for
to it.
champions? Search?
No.
No. Heroic
Unity
mode?
Hawk's out
No.
if there's Surge.
But yeah, it's really fun. I think people who enjoyed old card games would enjoy it. Definitely is not a modern card game. Oh, and it is meant for adults. They use a lot of like a old school art, like the old fantasy art, like the old Conan the Barbarian style art and stuff like that. Where the men are just boom and the women are stacked. Like it is definitely some great art on these cards.
All right.
No Winter Soldiers there. That's what I just heard.
No, a bunch of Hulks.
Bunch of Hulks. Perfect. Just what we wanted on this podcast.
A lot of He-Man.
Well, that's
Dude,
all
that's
of
a
our
card game I
MCM
play.
for this week. But be sure to check out our feed in the next couple of weeks. We've got some more shows lined up. Just like usual for Sinister Motives, we're probably going to wait until the box has been out for 2 weeks before we record that first episode so we can all get a chance to play the new heroes and the first couple villains before we start pumping all of that onto the audio feed. And you can check out Crimson's YouTube channel, Crimson MCM, to find out about Sorcery TCG, and just leave constant comments on his videos that say, "Why don't you play Marvel Champions more on your YouTube?"
Because
And that'll
I
make him
play
play
it so bad. Like when I play Marvel Champions, my entire comments are just, "You did this wrong. You did this wrong. You did this wrong," and I'm like, ah. I'm great at talking about Marvel Champions. I'm terrible about playing it.
It happens to all of us. Don't worry. All right. Thanks for tuning in, and have a good one.
Have a good one.